The following is a paid program produced by The Jamie McGrone Show. The ideas and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of The Jamie McGrone Show.
The Jamie McGrone Show.
It's The Jamie McGrone Show.
Let's talk about meaning, caring, living your best life.
That's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here. Let's talk about smiling, sharing, everyone knows.
The Jamie McGrone Show.
That's why I'm here.
Oh, The Jamie McGrone Show.
That's why I'm here,
Oh, The Jamie McGrone Show.
I'm your host, Jamie McGrone, and I've created a platform for everyone to come and tell their story of how they turned tragedy into triumph. But before I bring on my guest, I want to give you a story. I knew a guy who was living depressed for 8 years, and he had become invincible to the world. But he was smiling and laughing amongst his friends, but inside he was broken. Until one day he decided, it's either I'm going to win or I'm going to give up. And he decided to win. And not only did he win, but he fought for himself. And I know this man all too well because it was me. So what I want to say to you is, sometimes you have to pick and choose your battles. But at the end of the day, I want you to win. But enough about me. We're going to go to commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to bring on our guest. So stay tuned for more on The Jamie McGrone Show.
We'll be back on The Jamie McGrone Show.
Contact Paul Donning for an auto quote today.
She Likes It Beard Oil. Redefine your grooming experience.
Want to be motivated and inspired like never before? Well, tune into The Jamie McGrone Show and catch all of the fun, excitement, and special guests. Hear all of the amazing stories of how one turned tragedy into triumph. So, don't turn the channel and stay tuned for more here on The Jamie McGrone Show. Welcome back to The Jamie McGrone Show.
Welcome back to The Jamie McGrone Show. Today's guest is a phenomenal serial entrepreneur, co-owner of WDB Marketing and creator of the Legacy Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Keeana Barber. Thank you for being on my show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Listen, before we even get into our conversation, I have to let everyone know how we met.
Yes.
So a friend of mine called me. She said, Jamie, you must come to the Legacy Awards. And my friend, the one that invited me, when she asked me to come somewhere, I must go because she knows all the hot events.
Okay.
And so she says, Jamie, come to Legacy Awards. And I said, I really, just what is that? I never heard of it. Anyways, I get a ticket, I come, and I must say it was a phenomenal event. At that time, I only had 3 episodes filmed, but I was so inspired by Keeana, who created the Legacy Awards, as well as all of the amazing people that she had on board that were speaking that evening. I was so inspired that I left that show and I created 21 episodes. So congratulations. Wow. Let me give you flowers for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's amazing to hear because it's amazing to hear that feedback because that's honestly the reason we do it. We do it literally for people to be inspired, to see what they want to become, also to hear the challenges as well. So that's amazing to hear that inspired you to do so much. And here we are now.
I know, right? And so really I spoke this day into existence because I said, I want to have her on my show.
Okay.
And here you are.
I didn't know that. Okay, great.
So Keeana, let my audience know and my viewing audience on television know, Who is Keeana Barber?
Who is Keeana Barber? So as you mentioned, I'm a serial entrepreneur, a woman of God. I always like to lead with that. And just really somebody who's trying to empower our community. And I do that through entrepreneurship, through business. I'm super passionate about that. So as the co-founder of WDB Marketing, we work with small businesses every day, full service, graphic design, printing services, photography, videography. So whatever can help bring that brand to life, that's what we do. So that's what I do day to day. And then, as you mentioned, we created the Legacy Awards actually 8 years ago. And that's an event that we created to honor entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs specifically, and to empower young entrepreneurs to see again the people who were 20 years ahead of them and how they made it.
Awesome. Well, you can call me a serial attendee because I was at this past year's Legacy Awards.
Oh man, how did you enjoy it?
It was so incredible. And what's so amazing even about that, Keeana, is that you brought up all of these young entrepreneurs and you were giving away sponsorship to them and elevating their careers. Let's talk about how every year you give sponsorship to each one of these individuals that win these awards and how they grow in their business as young adults. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so that's one of the main things that we wanted to do with Legacy. I started my business in honor of my brother. So what does Legacy look like? To me, it's about impacting the next generation. So as a big part of the event is we do a young entrepreneur pitch. The top 3, they have to be 25 or younger. They have to be active in business. And the cool part is they actually pitch live on stage in front of 800 business owners.
Oh, yeah.
So what better time to really hone in on your business? And like you said, they win not only money. The prize has grown over the years. When we first started out, we were bootstrapping. We supplied everything. Now we do have sponsors. So they get everything from cash. They get free marketing and printing services from us. They'll get free legal services. They get free accounting services, PR. So everything that they need to really grow their business. So it's up to now 20,000 in prizes for their business.
Let's talk about the new location.
Yes.
You're downtown Chicago.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. It's been a long time coming.
Tell us, how did it happen and what are your expectations of where you're going right now?
So how it happened, honestly, just the power of social media. So we actually took over an existing business. So WDB Marketing, we've been around for 20 years, but this is actually a franchise. So somebody tagged me in a post, somebody was selling a print shop, found out that it was a Signorama. And the owner just wanted to retire. So he had a book of business, had been around for 20 years. So we decided to acquire the business. It gave us a Chicago area location. It also came with a book of business. And then we moved from where we were at to now we're on 16th and Michigan. So super excited about that. I know it's such a powerful.
That's so dope.
Powerful. We actually just had our grand opening and the legendary George Daniels was there.
Awesome.
And he was telling us of how historic Michigan Avenue was and the entrepreneurs that had been there over the years. So it was a full circle moment. So I'm excited to be there and I'm excited to see what's ahead.
Keeana, what's so special about what you've been doing is you are a true entrepreneur. And that's something that everybody to aspire to be. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. I remember going to the Legacy Awards and you talked about scaling.
Yes.
And you talked about team building and having the right people around you. I actually learned that from you. Let's talk about how you were able to cultivate a community where you had people around you that was so supportive of what you were doing that helped elevate your career to what you're doing now.
Oh, I love that. Definitely community is everything. To me, you have to lead with value. So a lot of people don't know. So people see WDB's success now and they see, yes, we're on our second location and we're able to give out all this prize money. But Legacy didn't happen until 10 years in business. And our very first event, bootstrap, no sponsorship, I'll never forget that. We had over 500 businesses show up the very first year. And that was because we had been pouring into these businesses over the year. We had been providing value and supporting them. So to me, community is built by what you give back and they're going to give it right back to you. So I always tell people, especially when you're trying to start a business, lead with value, lead with support. When I first started, I volunteered. I was a sponge. I was trying to learn. So don't come into business thinking, hey, this is old to me or people should just be ready to work for me. You got to lead the way and you got to show them that you're willing to work, get your hands just as dirty, and then those people are going to follow you and support you.
Right. Well, I want to separate the two because I introduced you as who you are. You are a serial entrepreneur. You are a co-owner of WDB Marketing, and also you are the creator of the Legacy Awards. But I want to talk about the Legacy Awards, which for me was so influential, and how impactful that is not only to me but the community, and what that does for you and people. Because I don't want folks to overlook what the Legacy Award is and how big that is, and all of the different influential people that come in, as far as the celebrities, and just even here in Chicago, all the influence that come along in Chicago, and all of the singers and performers. I mean, you have A1. I want to talk about that because I think that is so powerful. Not that I want to downplay WDB marketing, but I just want to really bring out what the Legacy Awards is, because I want everyone to know about it, because I was so influenced by that, and I think that others can be too. So I want to really hone in on that.
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, WDB always is the foundation because it built legacy. I always tell people again, we were able to do that without sponsorship because we had built a strong business. So WDB is still the influence for legacy, but it's turned into a 3-day weekend. So I'll start at the beginning. Just rewind it back a little bit. I mentioned we started it as our 10-year anniversary. So God gave me this vision. He said, you know what? I've sustained you. You now work with over 5,000 businesses, and it's time to celebrate. So I wanted to do something that connected our network. At the time, we were in a very, very small location. So we had all of these powerful people, as you mentioned, that were coming in and out, and political figures and business owners. And I was like, it would be great to do something that brought everybody together. So that's literally how the idea started. And as I mentioned, I started my business at 22. So that's where the young entrepreneurship piece came in. I said, what would I have wanted at 22 years old? I would have wanted mentorship. I would have wanted guidance. I would have wanted to see what I was trying to become. So that's literally how Legacy was created. It was created to connect fellow entrepreneurs, to become a ground for inspiration. It was to bring that young generation to us, because oftentimes, you know this in Chicago, and I love Chicago, but we have these like different groups. Yeah. You know, and what I love about Legacy, and I always say this, is we disrupted all of those groups. So I would bring a 22-year-old in the building with somebody like a Luster Hair Care, who we honored. I'm going to bring somebody who may have been in business for 20, 30 years, and somebody who just now has that idea to start their business, because we need each other more than we realize. So honestly, that's what Legacy is. It's what you just said. You had 3 episodes, but seeing that, and I don't know what year that year that you came, but we've had the Mael Organics, who now over a 9-figure business. We honor her. So being able to see somebody that's come from a very similar community, to hear their challenges and to see them on stage receiving that award, psychologically, I knew that was going to influence people to go home. That's why I love hearing what you're saying, because that's literally the purpose of it. I tell people, yes, we're going to look good. You know, it's a gala and we all dress up, and I love that about it. We have amazing food. We got to talk about that. Have over 15 Black restaurants. So the fun is there, but it's really to plant the seed. It's really for that 1 or 2 connections that you might meet in that room that can take your business to the next level. That's why we do it.
Awesome. I was just thinking of the word legacy, right? And you always want to leave a legacy for yourself and the folks coming behind you. But I want to piggyback off of every time I see you on vacation, you're with your mom. And it's like your mom has created a legacy, and you're creating this legacy. It's like you guys are like peas in a pod. And it's like, it's so awesome to see, you know, many times kids don't get a chance to do these things with their mom. So that's a legacy in itself right there. So it's so incredible. Let's talk about that, because we can tell that you love your mom.
I love my mom. I mean, my family is so important. So I just going back, both of my parents were entrepreneurs. They weren't super structured. So my mom sold clothing out of the house. You know, my dad did different things. So I didn't necessarily see somebody with a brick and mortar store, but I saw what hustle could honestly get you. What being able to craft your own skills could do. So all of my family sells. And it's so funny, because I used to think when I was younger, I'm like, you know, everybody in my family is so outgoing, and I'm like, I was the brain and in school, and I'm like, I don't have that sales. And it's like, you look up 20 years later and you kind of doing the same thing. So I was extremely influenced by my family, and I want to make a special note, because when we talk about legacy, this literally started as an honor of my brother, Bobby Barber. So as I mentioned, I started at 22. That year I graduated from Northwestern, so I'm bright-eyed and excited. We're going to start a family business, and my brother came up here. And when he came up here, he got killed.
Wow.
He was 27 years old. We literally had a meeting the day before he passed away, him, me, and my mom.
Wow.
And we talked about, because again, she's an artist, I forgot to mention. So outside of clothing, she was a abstract artist.
I saw that.
So, and doing amazing work. So I've grown up with my mom as an artist all her life. So she had art that she wanted to do. I wanted to do, and again, this is circa 2004, so urban fashion is big. So
Yeah.
I wanted to do a clothing store with my family. I wanted to move to California where my brother was at and start a clothing store. And my brother had this promotional company called What's the Business? And he was so set. Oh, it's going to be through these events, through What's the Business? He had just incorporated. And when he died, I just prayed to God and I asked him, I said, what am I supposed to do to continue his legacy? And I could hear it as clear as day. It's through What's the Business?
Awesome.
So people don't know, but WDB marketing stands for, the WDB is for What's the Business?
Awesome. Well, Keeana, we have so many amazing things to unpack, and we have more and more to talk about. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have more with Keeana Barber. So stay tuned for more on the Jamie McGrone Show.
We'll be back on the Jamie McGrone Show.
Tax season is back. Simply Enterprise has got your back. Imagine a friendly, bustling tax office in your community. Lashai Quinn's team greets you with a warm smile. The expert tax professional starts asking for your documents. Simply Enterprise serves clients worldwide via Zoom and a secure portal. With over 15 years in business, you're in good hands. Call Simply Enterprise today at 888-434-4644. Simply Enterprise, making tax season a breeze.
Cadeau Decor, your premier destination for full-service home design solutions. At Cadeau Decor, we believe that your home is a reflection of your unique personality and style. That's why our expert team of designers is here to transform your space into a personalized oasis that truly captures your vision.
Yo, I'm David Morris.
I'm Mike Mosley. I'm Monte Clark.
And we're a Few Good Men. And we on the Jamie McGrone Show.
Yes, sir.
I know you're tired of the same thing. It's time for something different. I'm just saying, what you going through that for? 'Cause you're a star, and you better act like you know. And I'm on the level.
My wife and I started this business because I was having a hard time finding a job. And as I climb this mountain of success, I'm reaching back to help others. My name is Jimmy Williams, and I'm the owner of Urban Roots, Inc., and we are committed to improving the economic landscape in underserved communities. At Urban Roots, Inc., we're looking for more commercial opportunities to help us grow the business and impact the lives of even more people.
Contact us today for a quote for your commercial property and help us improve the economic landscape in underserved communities.
Welcome back to the Jamie McGrone Show.
Welcome back to the Jamie McGrone Show. I'm here with my friend Keeana Barber, and we're having this great time. I'm so excited that she's here with me. Keeana, thank you for being there. We're having a great time.
I am. I know. This is fun.
I know. Keeana, we talked about WDB marketing. We talked about you creating the Legacy Awards, but what are some things you have coming up? Because you just opened up a new shop and the mayor came out downtown Chicago.
Oh, that was super exciting.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so the new location is our focus. So just really building up the rapport downtown, letting people know that we're there, kind of working through logistics, because we'll still have a lot of people ask, are we going to keep our main location open? And the answer is absolutely yes.
Yeah.
You know, that's our main production facility. So I want to build this up. And honestly, this is a model for me. If we can expand WDB, I know the impact our brand has on small businesses. I want to be able to go to other cities. So to me, this is that test model to see how does that second location look? How do we run the logistics? So running this, getting this together. We're about to start planning now for Legacy 2025. And how do we continue to make it exciting and elevating?
Yeah.
So Legacy, that. And then I really want to start working on my personal brand. People want to hear more about my story. They want to learn more about the things that I've done over the years. So I think it's time to slow down a little bit, which you know is hard.
Right.
But I'm going to try to slow down and really kind of launch my book finally and do some other things.
You know what's so amazing is I went to one of the events that you had this year, and you had Jeezy, and he gave so much knowledge on finances and just so, I mean, I was in awe because I didn't know that this guy knew so much and how smart he was about it. And to see you guys on stage together like that and just sharing business tips and just giving so much knowledge and wisdom to everyone who was in the attendance. Let's talk about that.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, so having Jeezy, that was exciting. We definitely elevated the conference. And I think people kind of underestimate him. He's a brilliant business mind. He has his own liquor brand. He has clothing. What I love, one of the best things I thought he talked about was the deals and the deals that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Because again, we learn from mistakes. And I think sometimes we feel ashamed to talk about the losses or the failures, but that's really what we learn from the most. So him sharing that on stage was great. The reason he came to Chicago was because of the young entrepreneur piece. He was so excited to hear that there were so many young entrepreneurs here and just Black-owned businesses, and he was excited to talk to people. So I think it was great. The whole weekend was an epic weekend. We had Louis Carr from BET. We had Dee Robinson, who's one of the first Black women in the airport concession business.
Yeah.
And again, that's what we like. We like to disrupt and show people, like, what are the industries that we're not in? What spaces are available for us to be able to get into? So, I'm excited. And Legacy 2025.
That's why I say it always leads back to community and connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody is in your community, but that connectivity. And I think that you were able to connect with him as well as everyone else that you had on that panel that day, and which is incredible.
Oh, we have powerful people. A lot of the people who hit the stage this year were 7-figure business owners, which is hard, not just for a Black-owned business, but for any business to hit 7 figures. So we had people who flew in from out of town. We have a young Black man that owns 20 Clark AFL team. So we had some really disruptors, again, like I said, and just talking about not just the fun stuff, but talking about scaling, talking about teams, talking about the challenges that we all face. So even after being in business for 20 years, it's challenges that I face every single day. It's things that I know that I need to improve and get better. And that's literally what the conference is for. It's to be vulnerable. To talk about what our issues are and to really come up with solutions together.
I think the last thing I want to talk about is the food. The food at the Legacy Awards, the food at the event that you had at Baseline Studios, the food was phenomenal. I mean, you find some of the most incredible chefs. I don't know if they're in Chicago or wherever they come from, but they're incredible. Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. For the most part, they do come from Chicago. And that was part of our formula, I will say. Now you see a lot of things about Black-owned restaurants and even Black-owned business. But when we started, it was 2016. And that really wasn't the train of thought. They weren't promoting just Black-owned restaurants. And that was something that was unique about our business. So we bring out between 15 to 20 Black-owned restaurants as part of the gala. So you can come, you can taste all of these different foods. So we always are trying to elevate that. But everything that we do is intentional. We're circulating that dollar back to our restaurants, back to our event producers and our coordinators. So food is always a highlight. And I've seen that become a trend now. Yeah. It's a couple events that are coming up that are focused on Black-owned wines and spirits. We did that at the beginning. We always wanted to highlight and put people in the room that you may not be aware of their brand. And we've seen a lot of impact from it. The restaurants tell me every year, people come, what they tasted at Legacy, they go to their restaurant trying to find it. So again, and that's that whole full circle moment of what we're trying to do. We want to create a great experience, but we also want to create impact for the businesses.
Well, Keeana, I want to say thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for giving us all this great information. And listen, if you haven't been to the Legacy Awards, right here, look at the screen right here. If you haven't been to the Legacy Awards, you must go to 2025 Legacy Awards. I promise you, you won't be let down and you will be motivated and inspired to do something incredible with your life. Yes. Keeana, thanks for coming to my show. Thanks for inspiring my guests and motivating my guests for all of your amazing stories. And we know that you're going to do some fantastic things here in Chicago and all over the world because you are a big brand. So we appreciate you for coming.
Let's claim that national brand. Yes.
We are, right. Stay tuned for more on The Jamie McGrone Show.
We'll be back on The Jamie McGrone Show.
You're watching The Jamie McGrone Show, and I'm bringing something fresh and new back to Chicago. You don't want to miss all of the amazing guests that I'm going to be interviewing. So don't turn the channel and stay tuned for more here on The Jamie McGrone Show.
Welcome back to The Jamie McGrone Show.
Welcome back to The Jamie McGrone Show. I've had an amazing time with you, Keeana, on my show. But here on The Jamie McGrone Show, you have to give us 60 seconds of why you feel like you are here. Are you ready for that?
As ready as I will be.
Give us 60 seconds.
Why do I feel like I'm here? God created me, I would say, to show what's possible in our community, to show that you can be successful but still also be impactful. You know, to me, that's what my legacy is. It's not just about as I climb and as I rise. It's about who are you giving back to. And to me, that's the only way that we not only change our communities, but change the world. And I think I'm here to be an example of that. I'm here to show that, you know, hard work does get you places. You know, you don't have to just take shortcuts. You know, I'm a woman of integrity. I'm a woman of God, and I'm a woman of community. And I think that I'm just an example of that. And he has me here to inspire, God willing, thousands of others, because that impact exponentially grows. So if we have 1,000 other people that are doing events like Legacy, creating businesses that are not only successful, but also making an impact, then our world is going to be so much better 100, 200 years from now. So I think that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Keeana, I want to thank you for coming on my show again and blessing my audience and my TV viewing audience with such an amazing story of how you can scale and how you can stay motivated, become an entrepreneur with the stories that you have. And we appreciate you for coming on our show. So thank you for coming on the Jamie McGrone Show.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay tuned for more on the Jamie McGrone Show.
We'll be back on the Jamie McGrone Show.
Contact Paul Donning for an auto quote today.
She Likes It Beard Oil. Redefine your grooming experience.
Want to be motivated and inspired like never before? Well, tune into the Jamie McGrone Show and catch all of the fun, excitement, and special guests. Hear all of the amazing stories of how one turns tragedy into triumph. So, don't turn the channel and stay tuned for more here on the Jamie McGrone Show. Welcome back to the Jamie McGrone Show.
Welcome back to the Jamie McGrone Show. I want to thank my amazing guest for coming and sharing her story of triumph. But I want to leave you with something. We only live this life one time and one time only, and we don't get a chance to live it again. So every day, live incredible. I'm your host, Jamie McGrone, and until then, I'll see you next time on the Jamie McGrone Show.
It's the Jamie McGrone Show. Talk about caring, living your best life.